It's a bloodbath for the mainstream media, Michael Snyder reports. Should any of us be surprised that the news industry is being hit by a massive wave of layoffs? Survey after survey has shown that the American people have lost faith in the mainstream media, and millions of us have decided to turn to other sources for news and information. Mainstream news outlets have been bleeding viewers and readers for years, and now many of the biggest names in the news industry are losing staggering amounts of money. It was only a matter of time before we witnessed large-scale layoffs, and now they're here. Of course, it is not just the mainstream media that's laying off workers. According to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, the number of layoffs in the United States in 2023 was 98% higher than it was in 2022. The pace of job cuts by U.S. employers accelerated in 2023, with the number of layoffs surging 98% compared to the previous year. That's according to a new report published by Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, which found that companies planned 721,677 job cuts last year, a substantial increase from 363,832 layoffs reported in 2022. The problem could get worse in 2024 as the labor market continues to soften in the face of high interest rates and stubborn inflation. But it's true that the news industry is being hit particularly hard. For example, Time magazine just announced that it will be laying off workers across several departments, including editorial, tech, sales, and Time Studios. Time magazine laid off an uncertain number of staffers across departments on Tuesday, a move CEO Jessica Sibley called the necessary step we must take in order to drive our business forward and improve our financial position. In an internal memo to staff obtained by Semaphor's Max Tanney, Sibley announced the cuts. We have made the difficult decision to eliminate roles today across several departments, including editorial, tech, sales, and Time Studios, Sibley wrote to staff. We are immensely grateful for the contribution of these talented team members during their tenure at Time. When I was a kid, Time magazine was very highly respected, and my parents would often have a copy of it on the coffee table. Me too, not only Time, but also Life magazine. But now it's dying, just like the rest of the mainstream media. Just look at what's happening to the largest newspaper in California. The Los Angeles Times has decided to eliminate slightly more than 20% of the newsroom. The Los Angeles Times on Tuesday, facing what senior leadership described this week as financial crisis, commenced a round of painful layoffs across the newsroom, a workforce reduction that is set to be one of the most severe in the newspaper's 142-year history. The cuts will impact at least 115 journalists, a person familiar with the matter told CNN, or slightly more than 20% of the newsroom. Some 94 of those cuts will be among unionized employees, Union Chief Matt Pierce said, as meaning a quarter of the union will be laid off. Should we be sad that the Los Angeles Times is imploding? I don't think so. Elsewhere, Paramount plans to give the axe to hundreds of workers. Amid speculation about the future, Paramount Global is proceeding with a new wave of staff reductions in February, source tells Deadline, and I hear the cuts will impact hundreds of employees across the entire company. For the past several days, there's been chatter that Paramount layoffs of about 800 are imminent. It followed a Wall Street Journal report in December that the company was mulling the potential elimination of more than 1,000 jobs in early 2024 to rein in costs. Paramount is the parent company of CBS, and so it's likely that the news division at CBS is about to get even smaller. Of course, the news division at NBC is shrinking as well. NBC News has laid off several dozen staffers, the latest of dozens of companies to start off the new year with bad news for its employees, USA Today confirms Friday. A source familiar with the plans said that employees were given a 60-day notice and will get severance packages and outplacement. Sports journalism has also fallen on hard times. At this point, it appears that the future of Sports Illustrated is very much in doubt, as many of the magazine employees will now be searching for new employment. The future of iconic magazine Sports Illustrated looked dire Friday after the publisher announced mass layoffs. The Arena Group, which had been roiled by reports that the fabled magazine publisher AI-generated content, admitted to failing to make a $3.75 million quarterly licensing payment to Authentic Brands Group due this week. And as a result, the publicly traded Arena announced Thursday it would make a significant reduction in its workforce of more than 100 journalists. All of the stories that I just shared with you have happened within the last 7 days. It's crazy how rapidly things are moving now. Of course, many other industries are shedding workers too. Earlier today, we learned that SolarEdge will be laying off approximately 16% of its workforce. SolarEdge, a company that makes inverter for solar panels, will shed about 16% of its workers. The company said Sunday roughly 900 people will lose their jobs in a restructuring plan designed to reduce operation expenses and align its cost structure to current market dynamics. It called industry conditions challenging in a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. And Vroom Automotive will be laying off most of its employees as it permanently shuts down its used vehicle operations. In an SEC filing and an announcement on its website on Monday evening, Vroom Automotive said that it shut down as used vehicle dealers after Ally suspended its credit line. Vroom will no longer retail any of its vehicles. It will sell its inventory on the wholesale market, and it will lay off most of its employees. It will only keep its subprime auto lending platform, United Auto Credit, UACC, and its used vehicle listing platform, Car Story, both of whose clients are other used vehicle dealers. For many more layoff announcements, please see my previous article titled, Alert, here's a list of 20 large companies that have just decided to conduct mass layoffs. It appears that the U.S. economy has reached a critical tipping point. The economic outlook for 2024 is not good at all, and employers are racing to cut payrolls in anticipation of what's coming. If you currently have a good job that you value, hold on to it as tightly as you can, because a lot more layoffs are on the way, and you don't want to be without a chair when the music stops playing. This is by Michael Snyder. And he says, about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled Chaos is now available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing. And one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my articles. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely ask and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is on the Economic Collapse blog by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.